Greetings, everybody, and welcome to episode 14 of the Sickcast, aka the Siblings in Cardboard podcast. I'm your host, Thomas, joined by my buddies / co-hosts, Noah and Donnie. Whether you're a veteran card gamer or a first-timer just testing the waters, we're all siblings in cardboard. Guys, how was your last week in the realm of flesh and blood?
I actually got to go and play at an armory on Friday, which I wasn't expecting. I was thinking that I wasn't going to be able to go on Fridays anymore. I've mentioned it a couple of times. I'm not going to keep beating a dead horse. But I got to play Uzuri in Blitz, and that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. I'm feeling a little bit better about taking a break from, the ninjas and Katsu in general. Even though Katsu's kind of been on a tear lately, which is
Ninja in
ironic
general.
considering I just put him down. But yeah, Uzuri was fun. Ended up going 3-1 at the armory, and yeah, it was a great night. Just an overall great night.
Mine was pretty miserable. I just kind of like took my Levia classic constructed deck that was like mid-rangey and set up for like dealing with Lexi still, and it just wasn't good. Turns out you can't just take a classic constructed deck and take one card out of it and expect it to function.
That's kind of what I did, though.
I mean, some you can, but Levia is always so on the edge of just imploding. Yeah. And she literally did, like, imploded several times in just a single armory. It was pretty hilarious. I game rules violationed myself. I forgot to put my Scowling Flesh Bag into the discard. And then we get to the end of the game, and all I have to do is, like, literally not die to my own blood debt. And Andrew would die to his blood debt. And I'm like, I can't turn off blood debt. This is a non-functional hand. I need to banish 3 cards. I'm like, I guess I concede. Just roll a scabs for fun. Hit a 1. Yeah, dead. And then I was like, oh, but I had Scowling Flesh Bag. Okay, I could have done it. And I was like, all right, I'll take the technical win here, and you can take the real win here, since I conceded already.
Fair enough. Yeah, he ended up winning the armory, even though he was 3-1 as well. He lost in the last round. Noah, where were you at on Friday? What were you doing?
He was post-Turkey Day coma. That's what it was.
Right? I was post-Turkey Day coma.
Sure.
Little and sleeping. No, I was heavy sleeping. I've been playing a lot of RuneScape. There's a league been going on. I'm not gonna lie. I'm playing a lot of old school RuneScape.
I like on the phone you say, I gotta catch up with work. And I'm like, I know what he means.
Yeah, it's real work. I was hot napping, and I've been hot. My sleep pattern has been destroyed. I've been playing RuneScape till 8, 9 in the morning sometimes.
Dude.
Yeah, I this morning I'm still kicking. We're still awake. So here we are. Here's the Monday grind.
And I've been on a roguelike tear. Been playing a lot of Risk of Rain and Vampire Survivors.
I've been playing a lot of Minecraft, actually.
There you go.
Just old school Minecraft.
I'm telling you, you gotta
get
into those
old ancient
school
city.
Games.
Yeah, I found my first ancient city. Got murked by a warden a couple of times. That was cool.
You ever do the speed run for Minecraft? You know how to do the
dude. I'm brand new. I've never touched Minecraft.
You should,
don't do it.
You should, no, you should look it up.
It'll rob the fun out of the game.
No, you just gotta have fun with it. But I played Armory on Tuesday. That was a lot of fun. We played Classic Constructed. Some people were just, trying to learn how to play new decks, and I was bringing Dory, but it ended up doing very well. So, I just beat up a Viserai very badly. That was about it.
Tuesday.
I mean, Viserai might be one of the lowest tiered decks in Classic Constructed right now. Right?
For now, but now that Iyslander's gone, is that still the case?
Did Iyslander hurt him? I'm not sure. I'm not a Viserai player.
His Iyslander matchup was. That's one of the things that people said were keeping him down, but I don't know if that's actually the case or not.
I think it's all the 2 blocks.
Speaking
Also,
of Iyslander, speaking of Iyslander, she's gone.
Yep. Bye.
I bought the whole deck. I got ready. What the heck? What's going on?
All the elemental heroes are now gone.
Don't tell me you bought the whole Iyslander deck.
I didn't buy that deck.
It's a new meta, a new horizon of ice. I'm sure everyone's super excited that there's that the only disruption, the only cost disruption in like the entire game is hamstring shot or something like that.
Yeah, well, let's get into that in a minute. Noah, you got anything for us on the market minute this week?
Yeah, yeah, a lot actually, a lot. In fact, so much that I had to cut out some cards. Um, we're gonna start with a real fun one. It's a hero card. Normally, I wouldn't talk about hero cards. You know what I mean? Like it seems a little weird, right? It's just a little weird, just a little.
Okay.
But Arachne, crazy. I know.
Oh, no. That's not surprising.
I
Wait.
will be building the deck.
So
Unfortunately,
the hero?
Yeah, the cold foil hero promo shot up. Should be no surprise that everybody says, "Well, you want your cold foil hero, not on my watch," and so it doubled. It's at $30 right now.
Hey, I've got one.
Ooh,
Stonks.
So I'm in the market for one because I need
cold
it.
foil Arachne Huntsman or
Cold foil Arachne. Well, it's the CC boy. That
okay.
CC Arachne is alive and well. Let me
It's
tell
Pretty
you,
in cold foil.
I gotta
It's a
get
nice
one.
card.
We're gonna talk about one of the craziest cards ever created, and everybody's gonna sit here and sell me, oh, it's not that, and I'm gonna keep telling you.
We'll discuss it.
We'll get to it.
Ooh,
We'll get to it.
Good. It's
But
so
I'm
good.
sure
Anyway,
it is affecting other assassin cards market wise.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we're getting it. Not the equipment. Crazy enough, at least not yet. But we're gonna leave it at that for now, and we'll get to the assassin cards. I don't want to spoil it yet. We're gonna talk about Glint the Quicksilver though. I don't know if I talked about it last week. Maybe I did. If I didn't, it's because of Kasai. It's mainly because of rainbow foils. I assume the normals have shot up a little bit. If you want your unlimited normals, they were $2 to $3 a piece. You could have, snuck around. They're only $5 or $6 for your non-foils. But the real issue is if you want foils, they're $34 a piece now. For Glint the Quicksilver foils and unlimited.
There's definitely going to be a Kasai staple. I don't ever see such a versatile blue block 3 ever not being a big deal.
Blue block 3 gives a card draw on reprise. It's an attack reaction, so it plays around.
And even if you don't have reprise, it's a blue block 3 that gives go again.
It's way too good. Just way too. So it makes sense. But specifically the rainbow foil, it's crazy. People are saying to the moon, and I actually agree. Now this next card actually sickened me how much it went up, and I'm sad I did not somehow find this train. All this Thanksgiving in RuneScape, I wasn't even looking at it. Normally I would catch things like this. Emboldened Blade is now somebody just pulling up for $12. It's $15 right now, up from $3. Okay.
What?
And that's because if Kasai becomes popular, or actually just because the meta is about to get extremely fast, people are probably going to put more D-Reacts in. And so you kind of have to run it. Don't know why. Let me tell you, I've got some weird speculations. I think it's one of the best cards they've ever created. You just got to soul read your opponent and you win. But it went up 500%. Like it just shot up.
So
and
why?
I was like, well,
do you think Kasai caused that? Why would Kasai cause that when she's like a red yellow deck?
Because fatigue decks are her already her problem. There's a lot of people talking in the purple Discord right now about how fatigue style Guardian-esque Oldhim is ruining her day. She's a value deck, and so Kasai beats you on value.
Wait, ruining what Kasai's day? Blitz Kasai?
No, Blitz Kasai is non-existent.
Or people
now.
like
Blitz Kasai
testing what they
people
can.
People testing what they think CC Kasai is having a problem with obviously Jeromai and then Brava. Bravo's always been a tough matchup, especially for dual wield. You get a lot of value out of the Valiant Dynamo, but you're running against a D-React heavy meta. You will be. People are going to want to run lean, but now the meta's too fast. So there's you don't need AB, you don't need all these other. So you cut back a little bit.
Well,
you play some D-Reacts.
You kind of still want like one AB,
at least one. Kano's still real. Kano is still real.
Nope.
No, even then, like you don't want to just walk up to Vincent and be like, "I'm going to let you do what you want to do, no matter what." Like she can possibly beat you. She has a great armor sweep.
different story, I guess. That's right.
But
I forgot about
and then Viserai, they keep pumping him with
Not
cards.
real. Viserai's not real.
Runeblade's not real. He
I-
can't
We
hurt
don't
me.
we don't know that yet.
I'll
The
put it-
expansion
I'll
slot
put
is
it
a real
to you.
thing.
I will play any Viserai player right now with 0 AP.
Okay,
I don't care.
maybe Viserai finally found what he's looking for in heavy hitter.
Somebody needs to
might.
tag Zach Bunn when this goes live. Say Noah just called you out, Zach. Any Viserai player.
Any
Viserai
Viserai player, I'll show up with no AB. I'll roll Dory against you. We'll just beat each other up. I
Okay.
promise. No AB. Don't
Watch
care.
when I post this out. Watch me tag Zach Bunn.
You Vincent players, though, that's a different story. I will probably have to bring at least one there to, one AB. Not Viserai.
Okay.
But in Bolden Blade, easy. That's wild to me. It is a blue block 3. It is very versatile. I think it's an amazing card. But we'll move on. This next card actually took me by surprise, but not really. I think it just took a little bit of time for everybody to react to it, and that's Scowling Fleshback. It's now up to $40-$50 on the rainbow foil. It's up. Oh yeah,
The card is so good.
oh, I think it's
expected
actually
it to be in that range anyway. That's
well,
surprising it was lower.
It's sunk. I mean, for a while it's sunk. The rainbow foils were sitting down in the 20s and the 30s.
What?
Yeah, you got to remember, Dust Till Dawn came out and the market on those legendaries literally crumbled instantaneously. They sat low. You could have picked them up for $20, $25 all day long. Now, steady $50, and those cold foils are on the rise. They're back up to about $75 for the cold. $80 for the cold foils,
been performing well, and so when a hero class performs well, their legendaries tend to rise a bit, and then we have heavy hitters on the horizon, which is a brute set.
Right, I expect this.
We're
this
probably not getting a brute headpiece. Scowling Fleshback's pretty strong.
It is really good.
Brute gloves.
It's
borderline busted.
Brute
is
gloves.
what it is. You don't need them. You got way too much armor as it is.
Brute chest.
No. Don't you have a good chest piece?
No.
Tunic.
Oh, well, maybe you're gonna get a chest piece then. Probably gonna be something that has to do with rolls too, because they.
To be fair, I'd rather it be gloves.
It's got to be something to do with resources. The chest piece is always something to do with resources.
It's dice rolls, baby, because they want KO to be real.
Well, we already have a dice roll chest. We have the bark bone strapping, right?
They want a real one. They want a real one. By the way, I'll also put this out here. The card Rock has caught my attention. I will be playing a brute deck with Rock. Go ahead, mark my words. Put me on record.
Okay.
I have been working on how to overpitch a go again into the Rock swing, and I will figure it out.
Yeah, it's called energy potion.
Nope.
Okay.
I'm gonna overpitch, and we're gonna figure out how to do this. I'm gonna wizard this one out. I want my rocks.
Roll scabs, pitch a blue to Savage Feast, use tunic, throw rock.
Yes, something of that sort. We're gonna work on it though.
Yeah,
it's gonna be an entire deck dedicated.
I doubt that card is going up very high.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I'm gonna have a nice Marvel version of it, and everybody's gonna look at it. It's gonna be happy and fun. And it's not going up. All right, now the next card. Now we're getting into a little bit of the assassin. Already dead. Should be no surprise. But earlier today, granted, if there's only one still on here, I would go snatch it. Actually, there's 4 at 26. Outside of the ones at $26, it literally shot up to $40 to $50. I mean, people are literally buying this card right now at 40 and 50.
Dude, I just bought my playset last week for like 17 each.
Well, it's like a good finisher, right? You just throw a couple cards, get some go agains, and throw an already dead at the end. And if they blocked with any gear on the chain, bye gear.
I'm actually not lying. I might just buy all 4 of these right now as we're sitting here at 26, because that's just way too.
Because already dead takes it off the chain, right? Or is it only the attack? Maybe it's.
I don't know. I have to look it up to know.
It says you are contracted to banish your opponent's non-action cards. Whenever you complete this contract, create a silver token. When this hits a hero, banish the top card of their deck and a defending card.
So it's got to be that chain link.
No, I think it's
No.
anything in the previous chain links.
It's any
Defending
chain link.
cards.
Defending card. Okay.
That's
doesn't
why
say-
Already Dead is so busted.
Yeah.
Oh, good. It's just like the axe. Remember, the axe can cut any card that defended, the Decimator axe. So
Okay.
if you block previously with equipment that's tempered, and then you block again somehow because I two swing with the axe, I will cut the temper from the previous chain,
That's actually hilarious.
and it will be gone. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I've done it before on Crater Fist blocks. I'm telling you, those Bravos think they're so smart. They're not.
You got your
But
one
what else
point
already-
value.
Already Dead. So then it should be no surprise, right, that maybe assassin cards went up. Yep. Surgical Extraction. $30 for non-foils. That's right. I just sold the I actually had to now because I want to play Arachne go and buy Surgical Extractions at a higher. It's okay.
Ouch.
I got a really good snipe on a rainbow foil. The rainbow foils are up to $60-$70 a piece. So I
They're
was
back
able
to
to,
where they were now.
I was able to snipe one at 30. I feel fantastic about it. It's about as good as it's gonna get. I missed it completely. You should have seen it on eBay. People were buying them for $9. It made me sick.
Acne hype. Okay.
Well worth the hype. Talk about that card. It's got me sweating how good it is. But those are my picks. I've had a good time watching the market. I think it's insanely volatile. I can tell you right now, just off the top of my head, another crazy one. Dust Till Dawn Crown of Providence is literally at the same price as Rainbow Foil. It's at $100. I know,
That blew my
I know.
mind.
Bizarro, right? We're living in some crazy Bizarro world. Dust Till Dawn boxes actually, this is are starting to go up. It's weird, but it's going to become a set now where it is so bizarre. I think it's actually going to go up.
There was so
Some of
much
the-
of that set busted right at release because everybody was
Because the artist
chasing those
cards.
artist cards. Yeah.
And they're still out there too, mind
Yeah.
you. So just something to think about. I might have bought some cases and boxes of it. Who knows? In anticipation of all this stuff. But Scowling Flesh Bag's up. Some of the other cards are up. Arstruck is up.
The legendaries in
I
Dust Till
thought,
Dawn
oh.
are decent, and some of the class cards like Starstruck is pretty good.
Some of them are pretty good.
And
That
now that all the
Carapace is
busted
great.
Aria stuff is gone. Maybe
Oh yeah.
there's room for new heroes to actually do some stuff.
And don't
knows?
forget Prism's cards are eventually going to go back because everybody loves her, and once she's good, the Angels are going to like
We'll
just
see.
James White said he
soar.
was not going to let Prism stay bad. He loves Prism. I mean, there was
I'm
a
wait-
interview
I'm
that he
hoping-
did with Brian Gottlieb and one of the designers and Flake at the World Championships as for the ISP episode for this week. And he flat out said Prism will not stay bad. He will have Prism get her time in the sun again.
Yeah,
That's
I hope
coming.
Heavy Hitters
That is coming.
gives her an expansion slot card.
Maybe.
They will.
I
They're
mean,
gonna keep
Fino-
feeding her until she gets
Fino
good.
has an expansion slot, or he's got a spoiler coming up. We don't
It's
see. Do we know
it's-
the day? Did I write the day
It's for Dromai. That one's for
down?
Dromai.
No.
It is.
Yeah,
They got to
Dromai
race Dromai
needs
to
another
LL.
card
They
'cause
have
she's
to-
still
they
not
have to race her
converting.
to LL. I'm serious. They will. They have to race her to LL. She's unhealthy for the meta eventually in the long
How
run,
is
so
she
they're going to race her
unhealthy
to
for the
LL.
meta? She's not even converting.
Alright.
She holds decks down. It doesn't matter that she doesn't
What
convert. She
decks?
still does hold decks down.
What
There
deck
are
is she
decks
Tekla
holding
that-
down?
starters. Uzuri
I
starters.
don't
okay.
like to play against. I don't like to play
Assassins
against.
in general.
Oh.
Warriors don't have a good matchup against her either. Neither does Kasai. Kasai does not want to see Dromai. Dory doesn't want to see
We don't
Dromai.
know. Yeah, we don't necessarily know that because
One
she
handed,
could
Kasai.
raise an army and just wipe the whole board of
Oh,
dragons.
yeah.
We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see.
Speaking
Yeah,
of
let's
new
get into
stuff,
the actual stuff.
yeah. Speaking of new stuff, do we want to talk about some of the spoilers, or do we want to talk about some of the living legends that happened?
Well, those are spoilers too.
Let's jump into the Living Legend stuff because
So-
that is the biggest news of the weekend, I think.
Sayonara Ice Heroes.
Goodbye, good riddance. Don't let the door hit you. I've said all that before about Lexi. Guys, when do we actually want to schedule the party for Icelander getting out of Classic Constructed?
I'm waiting for Dromai.
I mean,
and I'll
I'm going
throw-
to the
I'll throw a
funeral.
massive
Like-
party.
The funeral?
I
no.
I
If
like
I go to the funeral, I'll be wearing a
Icelander.
pink
I
suit.
think I loved her deck. I think she's one of the most well-designed heroes that LS has ever designed.
I actually do.
Bullander is one of the coolest concepts ever. It has one of the strongest storylines of Flesh and Blood with it, with Michael Hamilton in the first Worlds. I think it's sad to see her go. I really like Iyslander. I like the suppressive tendency she has to push the meta down and make people run a few more blue cards.
She'll
I'm
be
not
back
about that life.
and it'll be good. I enjoyed it as well. I thought the matchup was extremely intuitive. It's one of the only matchups where you literally die when you're both at 1 HP and like she has it, she kills you, and you're just like, it just felt good. It felt like it really rewarded both players for playing the game properly. It was a very skill intensive matchup, and I enjoyed it.
I am interested to see what happens with no frostbites. Like literally the only cost suppressive card now is like hamstring shot or something like that, right? Everyone gets to play their cards at rate now.
I would,
Yeah.
yeah.
I would like to go on the record and say I am 100% a hater on ice and all things ice cards, but I know that there are people that actually loved Iyslander and loved Lexi, and I really believe that with the hero identity in Flesh and Blood, the 5 stages of grief are something that you really do have to process when your hero dies and moves on to the land of living legends. So to those people that have lost their hero, I hope you find something new soon and you get back some level of love that you found in that first hero. I mean, I really do wish you the best, but I'm personally, Donnie is not sad to see that hero go. I mean, I can empathize and I can sympathize, but bye-bye.
I feel especially bad for like the Iyslander mains.
Yeah,
there's
Lagrea,
nothing like
Lagrea
that
Adams.
hero. You're not going to find anything that really is like her, because Kano's not like her.
Poor Yuki Lee Bender. I mean, she posted on Twitter that both of her comfort picks were gone in the space of about 2 weeks. First Lexi and then Iyslander, literally the weekend after the World Championships. Man, that has to be miserable.
She's got to break out of the ice meta and try something else. I'm sure she'll do great.
Would you guys consider like Uzuri to be kind of similar in a sort of? I mean, I know not
similar. Disruption, yeah, for sure, but
just
she's
in
disruptive, but not in the way that Iyslander is.
Well, just jump on Dromai then and get her out of here, please, and then or jump on Azalea, who now has the most disruption in the game, and have her just sit on you with your red and ledgers and your 86 on hits. Yeah,
Bravo
or go to Bravo and start riding that stamp authority and tell those Azaleas it's just damage.
Yeah, maybe Bravo is the most similar because he just tries to run on like this weird math of blocking and then throwing one small attack that has a big number. When I say small attack, it's because the density of his damage in a turn is low. Very, very, very low. But it has disruption. He blocks super well, so it's hard to apply your disruption to him. And I think that's a little bit of what Iyslander tries to do. She tries to disrupt you on your turn instead of being able to block super well.
I honestly think Bravo is going to pick up a more aggressive slant as well, because World Championships last year, Bravo was one of the decks that players brought to prey on Fi specifically, and with no ice in the meta, everybody's expecting Fi to rise to the top, and a more aggressive Bravo is one of the good answers to that hero.
Yeah, Fi has nothing he could do about like big Starstrucks and Spinal Crushes. Like that just completely, both of those completely turn his deck off.
Just about everything in Bravo's deck hurts. It will hurt the ninjas. It's not a fun matchup if Bravo gets rolled, but that's really true for anybody though. I mean, if Bravo gets on a high roll, Bravo is the best deck in the game.
So, who was the player that sent Iyslander home?
A Mr. Kevin Zenker. I'm assuming that's how you say your name, dude. I'm a southern boy born and bred. I have trouble with names that have different types of symbols in them. So I assume it's Zenker. It could be pronounced some other way.
Zanker or
something.
I don't know. We did our best.
The world champion's name I also butchered. So
well,
it's gonna be a thing. It's gonna be a constant thing throughout the podcast. I'm bad with foreign names.
They get to be.
I'm trying. I do my best.
They get to be legendary as the person who finally took Iyslander out of the game.
I want to say I read somebody say that he might have been the first person to score LL points for Iyslander as well. I'd have
Like,
to
really?
go back and
Like,
double check.
they were the first
I
person to?
I
The first
think
and the
that might be the
last?
case. I
That
have to
would
double
be
check.
wild.
That's pretty
That would be a
cool.
really cool storyline if that is true. That would be a really cool storyline. But I'll have to double check on that.
So that was at Battlehard in Wallonia in Belgium.
Yep.
The top 8, I think, was pretty diverse and interesting.
Yeah. It's pretty
Three
good.
There were
ninjas
3
again.
Icelanders, which you could argue makes the top 8 pretty oppressive because you have to have Iyslander answers or you just lose to her. But we also had 3 ninjas, 2 Katsus, 1 Fi, 1 Rhinar. He keeps doing well, and only 1
Oh, Rhinar.
Dromai. To be fair, the Dromai did make it to the finals.
It's Dromai. It's a say what you will. It's a real deck. It's just
It's
it's
good.
got its pitfalls.
Head jabs
They'll give
stay
it another
around.
card. LL.
Yeah, how many cards does she need until she just takes off to the moon? Lexi did.
Just one more.
I mean,
one more
she's been doing
busted
pretty well in the Evo season, like to the point that Mara had to tweet like, "Please stop winning with her. She's going too fast."
She's a lot of these older heroes are gonna go fast.
I mean,
Fi's
look
gonna
at
go
how fast Blitz has changed.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We
Fast.
can jump right into that because in our last podcast, we were on the cusp of chain hitting Living Legend. We didn't know during the podcast whether he would or not, and he hit it at exactly 100 points. And even if he didn't, I'm sure he would have hit it this Monday, today. And on top of that, Kasai and Kano just left the Blitz format.
Yep.
That's crazy.
So the only real power deck that is left, the only one that is still that has been considered oppressive in Blitz is Ira, and Ira's next on the chopping block. I mean, it would surprise me if she survives next weekend.
Yeah,
the last weekend of skirmish, she's probably gone.
Unless
So
we
if
have
you play
some-
Ira, go pick her up.
Unless we have some new breakout hero that starts being like the dominant one. Like Vincent seems pretty strong from what I've seen of Vincent.
She's already on
Rhinar
the
is
leaderboard, so-
always there.
Yeah.
So maybe Rhinar keeps getting better when he doesn't have to deal with Kasai battering him down with a bunch of swords.
I'm gonna be playing KO now in Blitz.
Maybe
That's my
Katsu is
go-to.
better.
I mean, there's a lot of heroes that have won at least one skirmish, and any of those heroes could be one bad matchup away from from the top decks to really performing well in the Blitz meta. I mean, I'm turning into an Uzuri main. I've played nothing but Uzuri since, well, a few weeks now, and I think Uzuri would be a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun in Blitz, but I think she's actually not in a bad position either.
Yeah.
I mean, the disruptive elements work for anybody. So, I don't know. Maybe that's something for somebody else to look at too.
She's got some cool inevitability too. Like, I saw that you were setting up like Remembrance to grab like an Isolate and a Command and Conquer to like do that kind of guaranteed like 2 to 3 damage at the end of the game that just can't be dealt with. And that inevitability is always really good in Blitz because if someone tries to fatigue you out, if you can get that set up, you'll just win. Especially if you could throw a dagger right before it too.
Yeah. The assassins are really good at closing out the game. I mean, it's kind of what they do. They go for the kill. They are really good at closing out a game.
Man. So that means like Realm Rubble coming up this weekend, Battlehard in Orlando, Icelander's gone for those. The rest of the skirmish season, 3 heroes, just gone.
It's gone. I mean, well, Chain wasn't legal for this past weekend, and that's what opened the floodgate on Kasai and Kano. But
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
yeah, all 3 of those decks are gone. Ira is most assuredly going to be gone after this weekend.
So the thing is, though, Ira picked up a lot of her points back when the game was a little bit more fair. You know what I mean? And I don't mean that like it just. I don't think she's bad by any means. I think Ira is a fantastic deck. I think there's a fatigue line that you can play, and I think there's a more aggressive sort of wide style you can play. I wonder if it's going to be that simple for her. She's just a very good value deck.
Is y'all better be ready for Prisms. Prisms
Yeah,
Prism is one of those last kind of potentially unfair decks that are in the format. And she doesn't have Chain there to harass her anymore.
Yeah.
I'm going
It
all
does
in
have
on
insight.
KO, baby.
On
I'm gonna be
who?
rolling dice.
Insight.
Oh, KO.
Oh.
I'm a KO main. We keep
Yeah.
talking.
Do it,
I'm gonna be
man.
rolling. I'm gonna be rolling those dice
I'm ready to
and
see.
slamming.
Turn 1, swing big for 16. Sure.
You got it. I bought both mandible claw cold foils specifically to play KO.
Both facing the same way, right? So you can go.
No, absolutely not. I got the perfect. I made sure they were kosher, one in each way, which is what I have to technically. Speaking of which, actually, that she took the Centauri sabers with her in Blitz. So how is New Kasai going to use the Centauri sabers? She took them.
For the audio listeners, I'm shrugging really, really hard.
Yeah, like this.
We have no idea.
It's gotta be a new weapon.
So are there new weapons? I think there's going to be new little Centauri swords.
I think they're just going to literally say that the signature weapon just transfers to the new Kasai. There's nothing against the rules for them saying that.
That would make sense, especially if they want to give the Centauri sabers to adult Kasai as well. Because then when adult Kasai LLs out, Bolton space opens up. Because the sabers combo is no longer a thing. So
what if
I'm
they're
on board
entirely new swords?
I mean, that's also entirely possible. Yeah. Yeah, it could be entirely new swords. That could be something new and cool, but we don't know that yet.
I
mean, right now we've got the tinfoil hats on.
They can always like break up the lore or give her like special ones that she's named or something. But they're culturally for the Centauri. That's like that sword is like part of them.
Yeah, it is literally on her art, like on the new Kasai's,
art,
you can literally see the Centauri sabers on her art.
So unless we have like Jim, Centauri Saber of Kasai, and Bob, Centauri Saber of Kasai,
which they might.
So it's probably going to still be Centauri Sabers that she's kind of built around.
Yeah.
Seems, I don't know.
I'm here for Jim Bob.
I'm here for Jim Bob too. Jim Bob Centauris, yeah. I'd be all right with that.
So that leads us
I'd play it.
I guess we could just jump straight into heavy hitter spoilers now. It feels like we just finished Bright Light spoiler season, and the heavy hitter spoiler season is beginning.
Well, the expansion slot spoilers are beginning. We're probably not going to get anything else for heavy hitters until January. Because if you looked at the updated key data page for heavy hitters on the Flesh and Blood website, the spoilers don't actually start until Wednesday, January 17th, and the previews end on Friday, January 19th. Those dates are significant.
Yeah.
Because Calling Queenstown, which is a heavy hitters limited first chance you get to put hands on the product, is on January 20th. So spoiler season starts on Wednesday, ends on Friday, and then people have their hands on the product on Saturday.
Okay.
With no opportunity to do anything as far as speculating or anything else with the set. It's going to be the Wild West in Queenstown, man.
Oh, man. And if the format is deathmatch, that's going to be awesome. I hope.
That'd be cool.
I hope it's streamed. How are they going to even stream it? Okay.
I think it's supposed to be sealed. I think it's supposed to be a sealed format.
No,
it would be awesome.
Deathmatch. Okay, so for people who don't know what deathmatch is, it's you do the draft format as normal, and then it somehow gets broken up into two groups of 4, and you play a 4-man game, and then the 2 winners play in a deathmatch at the end. So it's like 2 UPF games and 1 1v1 game. So you like have to draft 2 different decks in the same deck, right? You have to draft something that can play in the politics of UPF, but is still functional 1v1 against somebody.
Oh, this is gonna be so much fun.
It's gonna be politics so weird.
UPF it's good. It's gonna be weird.
Man,
it's gonna be a heavy hitting, aggressive time. Can't wait to try that out.
Yeah. I kind of feel bad for the person who goes first in those 4-person matches, because the person who goes second can be like, I'm just going to hit the person who goes first. And the person who goes last just kills him because he has to give up all his cards to block.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you're in cahoots with if person who's second and person who's fourth are in cahoots, that could be
Well, I mean, it's you get it, whoever wins the die roll gets to choose who goes first. So just win the die roll.
Just win the die roll easy.
That's what you gotta do. Just be good. Just
I
be
think
good.
there's gonna be some fun politicking. I wonder how that's gonna like come up. I guess maybe it'll never be competitive format, but maybe they'll just do it competitive for fun. I mean, they did Living Legend for fun, and look how that turned out.
I mean, yeah, they're gonna have to tweak.
Oops, all Starvo. Awakening is a really good card.
Yeah, they're gonna have to touch it. I mean, I know the idea was to let it be the Wild Wild West, but I mean, with Starvo that good, that's insane. An all Starvo top 8, 112 Starvos in that battle hardened.
That's a lot of Starvos.
I heard a rumor that he was top 16, but that might have been someone exaggerating.
I don't know that for sure, but I heard the same rumor.
All 16 were Starvos? That's wild.
Top 16 Starvo. Well, okay. I think the meta representation was literally like 60% Starvo. It was a crazy number of Starvos. It
was 112 Starvo out of like 100 and something players, 260, somewhere in that neighborhood. I'd have to look it up on the website. But I know for a fact it was 112 because that number stuck out to me.
That's a lot, man. That's a lot of Starvos. I mean, it kind of makes sense, right? It's a really good deck. There's a reason why he has 1,500 Living Legend points.
Yeah.
There's a reason why he obliterated his Living Legend cap.
I'm surprised that they didn't fix the Living Legend system to be more often based off what Starvo did to the system. But I
mean, we're never going to see that level of Living Legend points again. I mean, Chain has literally hit 500 exactly and is gone the same weekend. That's the whole point of this new system, is that we don't have another Starvo type meta.
Yeah,
right?
So it's like the most that you can see ever wasted is like 299, right?
If you won a World's
you win like a tier 1 event, and you're at 999, 200 something gets wasted.
Or if like there's several battle hardens and a calling on the same weekend.
Yeah,
then you could
that
get
are all CC
if they win all of them. You know, like if some random hero were to win 5 events on one weekend, like somebody did not too long ago.
What was that, Dromai?
No, it was Lexi.
Oh yeah, Lexi. Yeah, but Dromai did it too, right? Dromai won a whole bunch of them in like 2 weeks. Like a battle harden.
A lot of her points came from a very short period of time. Dromai's.
Oh yeah.
She picked them all up within like a month or something, or like 3 weeks of each other. It was a very short span.
So last week we did discuss some of the spoilers. I think we just mainly revolved around Kasai, and we put off the other discussions until this week. So first of all, we've got an armor set that came out that was spoiled that is based on definitely on the multiplayer mode aspect, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So the headpiece is called Headliner Helm, and all the other 3 pieces, they follow this kind of same format, and a shield, right? Headliner Helm's defense is equal to the number of opposing heroes with greater health than you. So that means that this helmet, like in a 4-person game, can be 3 block, which is kind of nuts.
Yep.
Is it Blade Break or is it Battle?
It is Blade Break. It is Blade Break. But
it's still good.
You know that instance I was talking about where if you go first and then someone just decides, second player just beats up on you and the 4th player just beats on you? Maybe that's so there's cards that are going to prevent that, like dog pounding that could happen. Because if you're the lowest hero, you suddenly go from having like 1 or 0 effective HP in gear to 6 to 12 effective HP in gear. So yeah, we have Headliner Helm.
It's gonna be really cool.
Stadium Centerpiece, Ticket Puncher. I like Ticket Puncher. That's
Ticket Puncher I like a lot.
Grandstand Leg Plates and Bloodied Oval.
Is Ticket Puncher the arms, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
You're punching somebody's ticket. That's good.
That one's good. That one's really good.
I love this game.
We got some interesting like wager based cards. So wager is a new mechanic where you're like betting that you'll do something, basically. So we got a card called Hold'em. It's a 1 red for a 3 block with go again. Your next warrior attack this turn gets +3, and when this attack hits a hero, you may wager a vigor token with them. And wager says when the chain link resolves, if the attack hit, you create a vigor token. Otherwise, they create one.
Okay.
I think there's one for agility. There's one for might, right? And there's one for gold.
Okay,
Yep.
hold on. The wager token that is wagering resources is named Hold'em.
Hold'em.
Hold 'em.
Mm-hmm.
Like Texas Hold'em.
Yeah.
And you're
yes, sir.
wagering resources?
Mhm.
Mhm.
Oh, as a dad, I love that.
And
Come
then
on,
we
you guys see the pun, right? You guys see
yeah.
the pun?
And
Okay,
so
sorry,
we
that's
also
great.
have
That's great.
another keyword called clash.
Okay.
So we have like test of agility. So this is a block card, a brute warrior block card. And apparently block is now a thing. We have cards that have reduced modality for like a higher rate, right?
Hmm.
So it's at least in red, I don't know if it's going to be multiple colors. It's a 4 block and it says when this defends clash with the attacking hero, the winner creates an agility token. And clashing is both heroes reveal the top card of their deck. The hero that reveals the card with the greatest attack power, the little yellow symbol, wins the clash. Which means that like you could block with this card, you get your 4 points of value, and then you get maybe 3 points of value if you win the clash. Right? Because usually go again is approximately 3 points of value. Of course, much, much higher. But that card seems way higher than the potential rate on the block cards from Bright Lights. I guess with the caveat that you might give go again to your opponent. You lose the clash.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a downside to it. It's also a brute warrior exclusive, right? Where the other one was, well, actually they're all mechanologists, but I think they're trying to be kind of specific with what they're giving it.
The gold one is generic. Anyone can get the gold.
That one makes a lot more sense. I speaking of gold, I didn't comment on it, but if you ever thought that you wanted a Crowded Dominion, they're up to like $70 or $80. You probably should get one.
Awesome.
Yeah, yeah, it's there's too much gold going on, and people are sitting over here like
people are literally speculating on the price of gold.
Well, yeah, that and they're almost saying we don't know that Royal Kasai, like you gotta start Royal, and it's like maybe
I don't know. Blocking 2 is really good.
Blocking 2 is good, but people talk about the ability to play that cash in right off the rip, and Kasai has done some nasty turns with some cash ins. But I like the style of it, right? So they're getting away from those Fate for Scenes, those sync blows. They're trying to bring it down a little bit. Yeah, it's still 0 for 4. Still has a great effect.
But you have to do it. You have to do it in the defense layer before reactions, which is very, very different. It also has to come from hand. You can't use a block card from Arsenal unless it has that keyword ambush that we got from the Round the Table product.
Which they're going to be. Boy, I hope so. LSS.
I imagine there'll be like one ambush card
with that
in the set.
I don't know about that. I mean, maybe a brute. It might be a brute card.
Another defensive ninja card.
Oh yes.
Oh, no.
Yes, the complete series.
No.
What we got? You wax on, you wax off, and then what else does he have?
You wax. You wax out.
You wax out. But I thought the newer one, right? He picks the jacket up and he puts, maybe they just go to the next Karate Kid. they just keep going. Come on, it would be a good card. There's nothing wrong with it. Ambush from the Arsenal. Maybe it gives like your next Crouching Tiger +1 or something like that.
That's got to be an expansion slot card. And I hope they don't waste the ninja expansion slot on another defensive piece like that.
Okay.
Please.
Those cards were technically all like old news, right? I think almost all of those were probably out during our last podcast. We do have 2 new cards though, and they are both assassin cards. That's why we were talking about all these assassin stonks that are going up.
2
So,
assassin cards already.
I
That's
think the
crazy.
first one that got spoiled was Coercive Tendency, which is a new Arachne
Yes.
specialization. Arachne has a good specialization now.
An actually good one. I don't
It
care what people are
reads,
saying on Twitter.
It's super good.
and specifically, it's not legendary, so you could have 3 in the deck. It's an Arachne specialization. That's a blue block 3, cost 0. It's an assassin attack reaction that says, look at the top 3 cards of the defending hero's deck, put them back in any order, then banish the top card of their deck. If you complete a contract this way, your assassin attacks get go again this combat chain. So this does a couple of things that are really interesting, right? One, you play it as an attack reaction with one of your contract cards, right? So you get to know right off the bat, like, what you're hitting with the contract. And technically, I think Arachne gets to look 4 cards deep, gets to use his hero ability, and then Coercive Tendencies gets you 3 more. So this allows you to either look 4 cards deep to get that spicy go again, or 4 cards deep to find, like, Dash's High Octane and banish it.
You know what card surprised me that you didn't talk about, Noah? That I'm expecting the value to go up on? Freak Razors.
Yeah, weirdly enough, and I'll double check it. Now, granted, I just looked at the look at the best sellers and I always click on them, but just because the price didn't look like it had jumped up doesn't mean
I feel like people are sleeping on that.
Dude,
Yeah, they're
especially since,
they're
like,
low.
Arachne's silver economy might get much better with the fact that, like, okay, so what is the high roll turn that you can get with Coercive Tendency? The high roll turn is, like, you can throw up to, like, 4 0-for-4s in a single turn. That's 16 damage. That's actually going on rate with other aggressive aggro decks. Now, he only gets 3 of them per deck, and that, like, you almost have to have a god hand to get that 16. So he's still not, like, crazy like Fi. He's not going to be an aggro deck. He's still going to be, like, this defensive mill, do weird things to your deck. But this does give him the ability to go suddenly 12, which he's never really had before.
Not just that, but the contracts stack while they're on the combat chain.
Yeah.
So if you play 3 different contract cards, each with go again, and you complete the contract for each one by the end of it, when you finally hit and banish something, you get silver for all of those contracts.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, silver economy is definitely going. I think Shriek Razors is going to be the go-to handpiece for Arachne. If it's not already going up, that's one that we need to be watching.
You're also not, with this card in your deck, you're not dead in the water if you're out of silver and you can't get back your black text. Like, there's a lot of cases, like, when I'm playing against Assassin, I'm like, can I get them to a situation where their black texts are gone and they don't have 2 silver? They become so much less scary when they don't have that, like, attack reaction to get go again. You can just go, whatever, banish a card. Your turn's over. Let's move on. So yeah, a good silver economy will help Arachne a lot, and not just being, like, threatless when you don't have black text is good.
Yep.
And we did get spoiled a new card as well, a new weapon that kind of combos with this higher silver economy, and that's a Graven Call, which is an assassin weapon, dagger, one-handed. So we're still in that one-handed dagger motif. And it's a once per turn action, pay 2 resources, attack, go again for 1 attack. So still kind of the same dagger cost ratio. It still has piercing 1, just like the other daggers. This one's difference is instant, destroy 2 silver you control, equip this with a +1 counter, activate this ability while this is in your graveyard. So this is a Flick Knives card, right?
Oh yeah.
Pretty sure you don't want to flick it. I'm pretty sure you want to hurl and then
You could,
bring
yeah,
it
hurl
back.
or flick.
I'm pretty sure you don't want to waste your flick on that, because I think that's the whole point. Is you probably want to hurl, then bring it back, then flick again, and it flicks.
What do you mean
too.
waste your flick? Flick just puts it in the discard pile, right? Doesn't
Like,
banish it or anything.
You have to destroy Flick Knives to do it, though, right?
No, you
No.
don't.
No, you don't.
Oh,
No, Flick Knives.
I was
is a
under the
once per
impression
turn
that you
effect.
had to. Oh, well then Shriek Razors isn't going to be it. You're just going to keep flicking Graven Call over and over again and bring it back.
Not-
It's just a free 2 ping.
I don't.
But you're right about the hurl thing,
100%
because hurl
think
triggers
this
when you
dagger
play
is
it.
good. We'll see.
I don't. I don't necessarily. Again, I like the dagger. I think it's really neat, but it doesn't have an on hit, and all it does is it scales the damage up to 2, and so you're basically trying to buy it back to flick it, to buy it back to flick it, and I just don't know if that's again. I just don't know if that's.
I don't know how often you would do that function. I would think that this is you flick it one time and you get it back, so you get that +1 counter. Because you got to think of how much that taxes the silver economy. Now, to be fair, if your opponent's at like 3 or 4 and you can think, oh, I could just drag the game out and flick this dagger a few times until they're dead, that's good inevitability. And I love that card is in here, because you always now, when you're deck building and dealing with assassins, you always have to worry, are they going to bring in Graven Call and just slowly flick knives me to death? Which is a very viable strategy.
2 is more than 1, right?
Yep.
And a lot of dragons and allies.
That's what I was gonna say.
2 help
as well. It's a
good
tool for Dromai.
You can kill Kyloria with a single dagger swing. That's
you can kill
big
Centauri sellswords with a single dagger swing.
Yeah.
No, I think it was definitely intentional for that.
I have a question.
To get assassin away.
When you flick knives, what are you actually flicking? Are you flicking the dagger, or is flick knives dealing the 1 damage? Okay, flick knives is dealing 1 damage. I wanted to double check that you weren't able to flick the Graven Call for 2, because that's actually nuts. Okay, flick knives is dealing 1 damage. It doesn't say
and it is considered to have hit.
Yes. So your Graven Call with the +1 counter doesn't deal increased damage. But that would be crazy.
That would be cool. But the hurl and then flick thing.
What is hurl? Cool. Hold on, does hurl deal 1 damage, or does it deal the dagger damage?
No, hurl
also deals 1 damage.
It's an on play. Okay. Yeah, but it's an on play effect. So when you play hurl, you can chunk the dagger, and then you can bring it back with your silver at instant speed, and then attack reactions, use the flick, and throw it again.
Yeah. Well, you can attack with it. Cool. You can attack with it, and then attack with something else, and then flick it too. You can. That's pretty cute. It's a lot of resource. Is it actually? It's not a lot of resources. It's interestingly, it's not a lot of resources. It's a lot of silver, but the hurl costs you 1 to throw it, and then 2 to attack with the dagger, and then you could throw it again for free. That's 2 damage that's hard to prevent. Not unpreventable, hard to prevent. That happens in 1 turn. So you know how
that is so cool.
Yeah, against
that
assassin,
is so flavorful.
Yeah, so you hurl, you buy it back, you swing with it, you swing with any other attack, and then you throw it with flick knives, all in 1 turn.
Can you just imagine being Arachne, flying through the air to tackle your victim? Okay, you use your hurl to fling a dagger.
Mm-hmm.
Then you connect with your victim, rip the dagger back out, stab them with it again, and then flick another dagger at them. Dude, that is awesome.
It is pretty cool. It also opens up some pretty interesting wide play lines for finishing people off. I think it's a really fun. I don't know if it's gonna be good, because Spider's Bite is nuts.
Spider's Bite is pretty good.
But
Spider's pretty good.
Yeah, it's funny that the signature weapon that's like a common token is still better than the Majestics. You always run the Spider's Bite, unless you're against story.
That's correct. Don't run your Spider's Bites against story.
Originally it was a rare, so there's that. But it is a token. It did become a token in Outsiders.
We have a couple more spoilers that are coming up, right? But is it just 2 or 3, and then we have to wait all the way till next year?
We know about a couple that are coming in for the expansion slots, but like I said, we don't know for sure what they are, anything about them yet. I haven't even seen any teasers except for, I think,
Azalea.
We saw there's an Azalea specialization.
Yeah, and as a fellow Azalea main, I can tell you it's probably going to be nuts, and you're probably going to want to jump on it real quick, because she's going to ride right in that LL sunset. It's going to be like Azalea, then Dromai, and 5 maybe at the same time.
It's going to be like Load the Death Trumpet.
Okay.
Death Dealer is just slightly, just borderline.
It's going to be an arrow, right? another arrow. Maybe it could be a D react too, like a really interesting defensive reaction.
Nah, she's not the trap person. That's what I.
No, it wouldn't be a trap. It would be just something that was like flavorful for her. Like, I'm not sure. We'll see. There, like, or maybe an instant.
It's gonna be an arrow.
An instant would be cool, right?
It's some kind of instant. Something nuts.
I think it will be strong. I think they want to have a strong ranger in the meta. I think a strong ranger in the meta is a good thing.
Azalea is strong. She's in a really good position right now.
She's already in a really good spot.
She has some issues. One of them being like Warmonger's diplomacy.
In which case, you play more Rabbles, right? Play more attack.
You play more Rabbles. You cut your disruption. You have a harder time dealing with aggro because the aggro. You play a Rabble. You playing a Rabble as Azalea is not the same thing as Fi playing a Rabble, right? His connecting set up for things like Salt the Wound and Mask of Momentum. You playing Rabble is you just trying to hedge your bet that you don't just completely lose your turn to Warmonger's diplomacy.
Yeah, because everything else that your deck does is so far above rate. Because you literally have 1 for 5 on everything that you play, plus a devastating on hit. So yeah, that 0 for 4.
Well,
you play Rabble for the
pretty good
too.
What devastating on hits? We've got Blood Rot Arrow, which is the most above rate arrow ever. It's a 1 for 7.
You've got Remorseless, Red and Ledger.
Remorseless does not save you when your opponent is dealing you lethal damage. They just go, I'll just stab myself to stab you. But Red and Ledger's nuts. That card is crazy.
Battering Bolt in some cases is amazing.
Didn't you mention Hamstring Shot earlier?
Yeah.
Hamstring Shot. Sleep Dart?
Yeah.
Okay. Sleep Dart is pretty good. It doesn't work against everybody.
And let's just and it's just the 900 on hit she's
got the thing that's like Red and Ledger but not quite as good. You can only play like 1 attack action or 1 non-attack action. I forget what it's called. Ensnaring Shot or something like that. Anyway,
she's got something else that makes you discard.
Who is it that's doing it? Is it Breezy? I think Breezy is the person doing the Azalea specialization spoiler. As. That's right. As. That should be easy to remember, right? As for Azalea.
Oh, again, gaming. Yeah.
Oh, so that's coming up soon. See, that one's listed as December 2nd. That's this weekend.
It is.
Yeah, we'll know how nuts
the next week is going to be Pheno.
Yep.
Then Breezy does have one, but we don't know for sure what date Breezy is going to be.
I'm guessing it'll just we'll be getting 1 per weekend. And I'm guessing that we'll get some more. It just hasn't been announced because they're so far in the future. It'll be like a 1 per weekend thing of expansion slots.
I mean, maybe. I could see them ramping it up a little bit closer to the new year.
Mm-hmm.
Because last year around this time, I want to say that a lot of content creators were kind of falling off the map because there wasn't a whole lot to talk about. Because there's not really a lot of things going on competitively through the month of December and the early part of the year because LSS is, they take like a week-long vacation around Christmas, right? So there's not a lot of news coming out. So yeah, doing it like this and giving us something to talk about will also keep everybody engaged. So there's not people trying to take a break towards the end of the year like there was last year.
Well, yeah, I started playing at the beginning of this year, so I haven't really experienced a long downtime. I know that me playing video games does mean I've hit a little bit of downtime, and I don't think I'm making it to the Realm Rumble. So I just got to figure out the skirmish deck. It's so far away. It's like an 8.5 hour drive.
Are we playing in Dublin this weekend?
I have not decided if I want to do sealed or skirmish. Sealed, that feels like a dice roll on my placement. I feel like I have more agency over winning if I play skirmish.
Yeah, but it's bright lights. It's got Dashio. My Command and Conquer's down there. It's a whole trip.
We could discuss it offline. I'm open to maybe going down and playing sealed.
If we play skirmish, I got to figure out how to be the best KO player in like 5 days. I don't even have cards.
You just play a deck that rolls a lot of dice.
I mean, I like that.
Okay, you run Scabs, you run Barkbone Strapping, you run Skull Crushers, you run High Roller, you run the KO specialization.
I don't have the KO specialization.
Oh, oops. Man, yeah. I guess you're not playing KO.
I need to pick
ready
those
to
up.
You need some ready to rolls.
I need some ready to rolls. I'll have to look into a really good KO deck. And then I need an Arachne list too. I'm gonna build both of those, I think.
All right.
I've got Arachne, so
Are you doing Arachne solitary confinement for skirmish? Doing Azuri?
Yeah.
I'm probably doing
for
Levia.
sure. I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna get to play in any more skirmishes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the timing's not great for me. I mean, I'm just starting school, so I'm trying to kind of feel out the pace of everything.
Yeah.
I just finished my first project day before yesterday and got it turned in for my first week, and I was expecting it to be a lot of work, but I wasn't expecting it to be that much work right off the rip. So I'm still trying to figure out where I'm at with everything.
You'll get better at it, but it depends on your personality. Are you like perfectionist?
I definitely want to get A's in my class.
Yeah, you want to get your A's. Don't kill yourself over A's though. You're an adult. You can accept B's.
I've got a life. Yeah, I've got B's and C's get degrees, but
Yep, B's and C's get degrees.
But I do want to do my best because I want to be able to show my kids that I'm doing this, you know.
Absolutely.
I'm doing this for them.
I think that's really commendable.
Okay, I think we're about ready to wrap up for the week. Anyone have anything else they want to say before we close it out?
Do we want to touch on that one thing?
Sure. I mean, I could start off. We could do a quick little public service announcement that Flesh and Blood, and I think all card games in general, should start at a place of inclusivity.
Absolutely.
And so that inclusivity means not discriminating against anyone for their gender preference, their creed, their religion, what color shoes they wear, things that you shouldn't really discriminate against people for things they can't control, but not even things that they like either. We should be friendly to each other.
Absolutely.
It's part of the atmosphere. It's part of the whole idea of getting together and kind of enjoying a common ground, you know, and like you're going to find disagreements everywhere and all that. But I mean, we're here to play a card game. We're here to enjoy each other's company, and we're here to share something, a common bond. And that common bond is the card playing and the community. And everybody's always
playing
been
great
so
games,
close-knit and tight and playing great games. And, you know, disagreements over who won, you know, it's going to happen, but not things like that. It's outside stuff. It's not right. It's not fair. And there's no winners. There's no winners at all. There's only losers, and nobody walks away with extra point. You know, it's all silly.
Yeah.
It's all arguing for like silly semantics. Let's have some camaraderie. You know, we're all siblings in cardboard, like our podcast. I mean, but really, like, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, you can't have fun if you feel like you're not in a safe, friendly place.
Yeah.
No.
So
you can't have a good time.
You should look inwardly. If you think you're making someone else feel unsafe or not have fun, you should maybe adjust your personality a bit or adjust your approach. And try to do better. Do better.
Do better. Seriously.
If you're gonna disagree on something, disagree about your pummel triggers.
Yeah, for sure. But I feel very strongly about this. If you see me at an event and somebody at that event is making you feel unsafe, come and find me. Come and find me, and we'll get it taken to a judge. We'll get it taken care of. And if that doesn't work, we'll figure out something else. But we will make sure that you feel safe before you walk away from it.
You need to hold the community to that. There should be people who are offering a safe space in every community.
I am very easy to spot. I'm 6'1", right at 300 pounds, covered in tattoos. You can find me if I'm at an event. Come and find me.
Okay.
But,
yeah, that's our PSA. Be good to each other.
For sure.
And yeah, thanks for joining us, everybody. We hope you enjoyed catching up with us this week. And if you did, make sure you subscribe, leave a follow, depending on where you found us. Try to catch us again next time. Until then, take care of yourself, and remember, we're all siblings in cardboard. And thank you, patrons. Thank you, everyone who's supporting us.
Better discard those cards, though. I will argue about it. Discard them.